More than 2,000 years ago, a rich merchant named Zeno was sailing to Athens when his ship sank. He lost everything. His wealth, his cargo, his future, all gone in a moment. For most people, a disaster like that would be devastating. And understandably so. We might feel angry, helpless, even betrayed by life. But Zeno didn't fall apart. Instead, he used that moment to build something stronger than any business or ship, a new way of thinking. He went on to found Stoicism, one of the most powerful philosophies ever created. Stoicism teaches one simple idea: you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. That's it. That's the secret. And once you understand it, you can become mentally unbreakable. What Stoicism is really about. People often think being Stoic means being emotionless or cold. That's wrong. Stoicism doesn't tell you to ignore your emotions. It teaches you to master them. To see life clearly, and act with purpose, even when everything feels like it's falling apart. It's not about pretending to be okay. It's about being okay because your peace doesn't depend on outside things. Not money. Not approval. Not comfort. Just your mind, and your mindset. How it works. There's one Stoic principle that sits at the core of everything: the dichotomy of control. Separate what you can control from what you can't. You can control your actions, your words, your mindset, and your attitude. You cannot control other people, random events, or outcomes. When you stop wasting energy on things outside your control, you take back your power. Think about it like this: you prepare for a job interview. You do your research. You practice your answers. That's all within your control. But whether the interviewer likes you, whether the company chooses you, that's not. If you tie your self-worth to the result, you give someone else the power to decide how you feel. That's not Stoicism. Expect the unexpected. Life is unpredictable. Sometimes you'll lose. Sometimes people will betray you. Sometimes your plans will fall apart. Stoicism teaches, expect it. There's a Stoic exercise called negative visualization. Imagine the worst that could happen, not to scare yourself, but to prepare. You'll realize that most things you fear are survivable. Even if they happen, you'll still be you. Another practice is voluntary discomfort. Do hard things on purpose, take cold showers, sleep on the floor, skip a meal. These aren't punishments. They're reminders that you don't need luxury to live well. Comfort is nice, but resilience is essential. Who can be a Stoic? Anyone. Zeno's philosophy didn't live behind palace walls. It was taught in public, to everyone, from slaves like Epictetus to emperors like Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism was radical in its openness. It even welcomed women at a time when most schools of philosophy did not. Musonius Rufus, one of the early Stoics, said women are just as capable of wisdom and virtue as men. That was over 2,000 years ago, and still more progressive than some minds today. Stoicism was never about elitism. It was always about strength. Inner strength. And that's something everyone can develop. Why it matters today. We live in a world that pushes distractions and fake desires 24/7. Ads tell us we're not enough unless we buy more, look better, earn bigger. But none of those things make us whole. In fact, chasing them often makes us feel worse. Stoicism teaches us to stop tying happiness to things that fade. Your car will break down. Your phone will become outdated. Your looks will change. Even relationships can end. But your character, that stays. That's what you build your life around. Seneca, another great Stoic, once said, "Learning to live with less creates space for what really matters." It's not about giving everything up. It's about knowing what's worth keeping. True success is effort, not outcome. Think about a YouTuber who spends weeks creating a video. They research, script, film, edit, and publish it. That's all under their control. But once it's uploaded, the views depend on the algorithm. That's out of their hands. If they define success by likes and shares, they'll always be frustrated. But if they define success by how hard they worked and how much they improved, they win either way. That's Stoicism in action. The 4 Stoic virtues. 1. Wisdom, know what you can control and what you can't. Choose your response. 2. Courage, keep going even when it's hard. Face life head-on. 3. Temperance, don't overdo it. Do more with less. Stay grounded. 4. Justice, treat others well. We're here to help each other, not harm. These aren't just ideas. They're a code for living. And when you live by them, you become stronger, calmer, and harder to break. Modern Stoicism in action. Take Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in prison. Most people would come out bitter and vengeful. But not Mandela. He forgave. He led. He rebuilt. While in prison, he read the works of Marcus Aurelius and embraced Stoic principles. He couldn't control the past, but he could shape the future. So he did. Even today, Stoic thinking is used in therapy. Rational emotive behavioral therapy and logotherapy both draw on Stoic roots. They teach people how to replace destructive thoughts with rational ones, and how to find purpose, even in suffering. You can start now. You don't need to read ancient texts or live like a monk. You just need to take responsibility for your thoughts, your actions, and your mindset. You don't need to be perfect. Just intentional. It starts by asking, is this in my control? If yes, act. If no, let it go. That's how you become mentally unbreakable. That's how you become Stoic. If this message resonated with you, take the first step right now. Hit the like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more content that sharpens your mind and strengthens your spirit. And remember, external chaos doesn't define you, your inner peace does. Start building it today.